When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is The Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. This is Fallout: The Rising Sun, Part 5. Now let's continue where we last left off in our story, where Ren, Yang, continued to explore the main facility of the military structure, the military medical research center. The brother and sister duo covered each other's backs and began to slowly withdraw from the room, from across the lodge room, and slowly open a door, leaving the room and finding themselves in a medium-sized hallway filled with doors on each end of the hallway. They begin to check room from room, killing several feral ghouls as they do so. One of the rooms, they thought it was a room that led to a set of stairs going to the next level, but the rose fields completely ignore the stairway to the upper floors. Not here to go higher, they're here to go lower into the basement level of the research facility. It looks like I'm going to have to hack this door by hacking into the computer terminal right next to it. It does look bigger than the rest of the doors in the hallway. Give me a second and cover me. Got it. We have incoming, sis. He took out his rifle and opened fire upon the incoming feral ghouls that are running towards them. As soon as the first ghoul came in his firing range, he opened fire. A rain of bullets came flying towards the group of feral ghouls in rapid fire. But the feral ghouls did not stop, even though one of them was shot in the head. The ghoul was instantly killed, but the rest of the feral ghouls didn't even seem to notice or care. The door finally opened up. Ren pulled her brother inside the doorway as the door shut behind them. They found themselves in another long hallway. At the end of the hallway, there was a large metal glass door with a computer terminal to the right of the door. Ren placed her fingers intertwined with each other and cracked her knuckles as she approached the terminal. When she got close enough to the door, Ren instantly began to do her work and try to break into the computer terminal to unlock the huge metal door, but Ren was having a little more difficulty trying to get past the firewalls. You having trouble there, sis? Shut up and watch my back, I'm busy. Aye, ma'am. Smartass. So what's your plan on how you're going to continue the little one's training? Everything he has. I'm going to teach him everything. He was at the top in his class in the vault. We both know what's taught in that. Doesn't teach you everything about the world. It isn't going to be efficient. I'm aware of that, brother. That's why on top of what he learned in the school, the academy, I was also beginning to teach him things that he needs to know. He's still young, and he needs to know a lot of things. He has much to learn. He's a tough kid, though. You could say that again. Most kids in his situation would be scared shitless out of their minds. Ren scoffed. He's my son, after all. You expect anything less? I'm the one who taught him how to control his emotions, instead of letting his emotions control him. There's no way that will ever happen to my son. There we go. We have access to the door now. As the metal blast door slowly opened up, once they got into the large room, the door behind them shut. As the large elevator doors open up to reveal a sentry bot. Oh crap. Get down as Yang tackled his sister to the ground and dodged an incoming ray of bullets from the sentry bot arm that was a minigun. Both Rosefield separated, going different directions around the sentry bot, just out of range. The sentry bot couldn't lock onto Ren. She was moving too fast. She was moving very erratically every time the sentry bot would get a lock on her. Ren would veer off of his targeting range, or the sentry bot's targeting range, in return making the sentry lose target single. Sentry would lose his target by the unusual movements from the female human, so the sentry focused on the other one that's moving a lot more slower than the female, as the sentry released a blanket of bullets from his right arm that is a minigun at Yang. Yang was able to dodge and weave around the blankets of bullets, trying to pierce right through him. As he begins to get out of firing range, the sentry begins to recalculate its next move by using his left arm that shot out several small missiles at Yang. Yang managed to shoot each rocket before it got too close. Yang continued to fire once again when he got done with the missiles, as he immediately switched. Yang immediately switched targets and began to open fire upon the sentry bot itself, using his third weapon, his assault rifle. Yang noticed his bullets are just being reflected off the frame of the sentry bot, not even making any damage. Frag out, as Yang yelled out, as he tossed a grenade that landed right in front of the sentry bot as the grenade begins to roll under, and eventually stopping. Then there was a small explosion that ignited as the smoke concealed the sentry bot. By this time, Yang immediately backed off and hid behind some of the metal crates inside the room for cover. Yang leaned against the crate while slightly looking around the corner of the crate, reloading his rifle. How much damage did you do to it? Not enough. I barely damaged it. Whatever they used to create this sentry bot, it's definitely a hard shell to crack. I gotta give it to Robco. They know how to make killer machines. Any idea how we're gonna take this thing down? As they both noticed, the smoke started to recede, showing the sentry barely damaged. That combat shotgun will most likely be the only thing that can damage it, that we have access to. I'll distract it while you cause heavy damage with the shotgun. That's not a bad plan, but that minigun arm is going to be a problem. I would have to agree with you on that. I'll take care of it, brother. Ren stepped out of behind one of the metal crates and slung her rifle over her shoulder and charged forward while keeping her hand on the handle of her sword. The moment the sentry located the hostile human, it immediately opened fire with his minigun arm, only for Ren to side jump to the right, forcing the sentry to move his minigun arm to the right, only for Ren to side jump to the left. Spirit, is the Dragon Eye fully operational? A holographic image of Spirit appeared in Ren's digital dashboard. That all Dragon Eyes have. Ren is the first one to ever have an artificial intelligence inside hers. Everything is operational, mistress. Unfortunately, many of the Dragon Eyes functions are locked. Ren continued to dodge the gunfire from the minigun. What about the sword mode? Is that locked as well? No, mistress. Sword mode is fully operational, but I'm unsure how long you can have sword mode active until you start to injure your body. Because I transferred from the mainframe into your Dragon Eye, some abilities have been upgraded. Very well, just inform me when I'm at my limit. Duly noted. As the holographic image of Spirit disappeared from the holographic image of the digital dashboard that only Ren can see. Other people with Dragon Eyes can't see other people's digital dashboards. The moment Ren activated sword mode, her eyes immediately turned to a bright, glowing gold as Ren pulled out her katana out of his sheath and began to reflect each bullet that was fired from the minigun arm, being reflected harmlessly away from her brother. That would have been caught in the crossfire if she dodged instead of reflecting. Short pause in the story. Every Dragon Eye has its own unique functions, like sword mode, increases eye coordination speed, reflexes, even giving the user a slightly strength boost. Let's continue with our story. The sentry used his left arm to shoot rockets at Ren. All of the rockets were cut right in half, exploding harmlessly around Ren. Ren started to move faster. Then she side jumped to the left. Then she side jumped to the right. The sentry was trying to turn its arm around to smash Ren. But Ren's katana started to glow hot as the blade itself started to glow red. Then when it got hot enough, Rin acted and swung her sword upwards, cutting off the arm. There was a slight explosion when the arm was dislocated from the rest of the robot's body. Rin immediately hopped backwards, deactivating her sword mode. The moment Rin leaped backwards, Yang rushed forward at the same time and took out his combat shotgun. Yang tried to get closer only for the sentry bot to bat him away with his missile arm. Yang had to block the strike with his shotgun to absorb majority of the force of the attack. Regardless if he absorbed most of the attack using his weaponry, he did slid to a stop, or slid backwards. Luckily for Yang was close enough to fire off a round. As he fired his combat shotgun right in the barrel of the missile arm. It only took a few shots of the combat shotgun for the small rocket inside the arm of the sentry to go off in a small explosion, blowing up the other arm as Yang jumped on the top of the sentry's head, landed on top of his head, and began to unload round after round of his combat shotgun right into the head of the sentry bot until it started to flash rapidly. Yang, get away from it. It's about to self-destruct. Noticing the danger he's in, he jumped off the sentry and got a good enough distance as the flashing only increased until the entire sentry bot exploded, sending both Rosefield's siblings in opposite directions of the room. As both of them began to roll around, when they finally stopped moving, they got up to their feet. Goddamn, that was intense. Shut up and help me get up. I'm coming, princess. There's no reason to yell. As he walked towards his sister and helped her up by grabbing onto her wrist and pulling her up to her feet. Rin grabbed her brother by the collar of his shirt. If you ever call me that again, I'll kill you. Before she could continue to berate her brother, Rin started to cough up blood. Sis, are you okay? Just give me a moment. Activating sword mode took a lot more toll on me than I originally thought. How's that even possible? You've used sword mode several times in the past, without no trouble. Back then, I didn't have spirit inside my dragon eye. Spirit was never meant to be transferred into one of the dragon eyes. Yes, we made them in case of event that we have to transfer spirit, but we never actually thought we would actually have to do it. And it was always meant to be a temporary thing. Because spirit is in my dragon eye, it boosted sword mode to insane levels. My body just can't handle it. It's a good thing that the Sisterhood didn't take the dragon eyes when they took our weapons. They probably didn't realize we had it. If they did, they probably would have took them. Let's get going. As Ren activated the elevator door that's in the room, a second later, the large elevator door opens up. The elevator cart could hold a platoon of soldiers without no trouble. The moment they got inside the elevator, they pressed the button, only button on the elevator. As the elevator cart begins to descend down into the laboratory. It only took them a few minutes for the elevator to stop, as the elevator door slowly opens up to reveal a pure white hallway that had several metal doors on each side of the hallway, and a large door at the end of the hall. While Ren was walking with her brother, she stabbed a stim pack in her neck, injecting the medical serum into her body. As it slowly begins to heal the minor injuries she has, they walked into the first room on the right. Ren and Yang noticed the room was completely filled with file cabinets. They went to look through the file cabinets, but couldn't find much. What files were still inside the file cabinets were too badly eroded to read because of the passage of time. Both Rosefields left the room and entered the second room in the hallway on the opposite side of the room they just entered. There's nothing here as there was nothing there useful to them, so they went to check the other room. What exactly are we looking for? Their mainframe. I also want to check out their labs. The moment they went through the third door, next to the second room they entered, they found themselves in a cold, sterile lab. I've always hated labs. It always gives me the ominous jitters. Ren completely ignored her brother's comment about the lab and continued to look around. They clearly were researching something by all the scientific devices scattered all around the lab. Let's go, as Ren found a black key card on one of the desks as she has it between her fingers. We won't find anything here. All of the samples that they were researching before their deaths has already eroded away. Samples like that don't last long in the open like this, without being properly quarantined and stored. This black key card should be useful. Ren and Yang continue to search the rooms of the laboratory. When they entered the second to last room, to the door nearest to the door at the far side of the hallway, at the end of the hallway basically. The room was filled with large tubes filled with water. Each tube had a deceased crawler inside. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? As Yang stepped closer to the large tube that had a crawler inside. Not too surprising. We would find it's not too surprising we would find a corpse of these white monsters. After all, according with the video that the head security was saying, they were investigating the monsters and most likely experimenting on them. Let's get a move on. As Ren left the large lab, as she approached the last door at the end of the hall, the last door at the end of the hall. The door itself was slick metal with no doorknob, only a keycard slot on the other side of the door. Well, next to the door, on the side of the wall. She slid the keycard in the slot. A second later, the door opened up to reveal the mainframe of the Military Science Research Center. The entire room was filled with large computers and other devices. The choice was quite simple for them. They chose to see what they could dig into the biggest computer in the room. as Ren begins to easily bypass the password, gaining full access to the mainframe. This is going to take a while. I suggest you make yourself comfortable. Sure thing, sis. So far, no luck on the map of the Demon Mouth. So what exactly are you doing? I'm downloading everything on the mainframe on a holotape. Technically, I'll be downloading several things on several holotapes. The mainframe is too big. After all, mainframes like this usually do hold a whole lot of information. I would rather not be here for a long period of time. I want to get this downloaded and get back to my son. We're not really in the whole safest locations. That's an understatement, sister of the year. But I do agree. After several hours of downloading any information that could be transferred over to the holotape, Rin stuffed them in her brother's backpack. Rin tossed the backpack back towards her brother. We're leaving. What about the rest of the laboratory? There's still a door we haven't gone through yet. The one right over there, to the right. We'll come back. We've already been here for far too long. Agreed. We can't really leave Victor alone for too long. Ren and Yang began to travel back through the secret laboratory. After getting through the laboratory, using the elevator to get to the ground floor of the Military Research Center, they just backtracked and got out of the building with not much resistance and made it back to the smaller building. I see you're keeping yourself busy. Victor was about to stop what he was doing. But Ren stopped him. Don't mind your mother. Continue what you were doing. Me and your uncle have some things to look over. We'll be right over there if you need us. Ren and Yang went to the other computer in the room as Ren started to go through the holotapes that was downloaded from the mainframe from the Military Research Center database. You should probably drag a seat over here. I found some videos. Haven't found any layout yet of the Demon's Mouth. This is the first holotape I've looked at so far. Drag one of the chairs and sat right next to his sister and watched the screen. Get comfy as Ren activated the first video file. This is Yuri, head security, log. This is Yuri, head scientist. Log 1. As a very attractive female scientist with long black hair and green eyes became visible on the screen. I was just informed by the higher-ups in the military that a military research center will be built in some sort of complex cave system. Don't know much on the details on it though. According to the reports in the orders, I am to build a science team to investigate and research an undiscovered life form that appeared in this cave system. And what I've been told, this creature is quite hostile. But I'm a scientist. Danger is always part of the job. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm quite intrigued by this new discovery. Hopefully the soldiers could capture one so I could examine it more closely. I can't wait to find out how old this creature is. that find this case system their home. As the video log cut off, get ready, I'm about to play the next one. Got it, things are getting interesting. We're finally get some answered on these white monsters. Agreed. As Ren play the next video log. This is Head Scientist Yuri. Video log 2. I just arrived at the Military Research Center inside the case system. Ironic, the soldiers start calling it the Demon Mouth, a very ominous name, but given what lives inside, it's not too surprising they would name it that. My new laboratory is going very well. We're still missing key equipment. I should be getting them next week at least at the latest, so we can finally get to work. Yuri turned her head towards a soldier that walked in, carrying something. Careful, you brute. What's inside that crate is very delicate technology, lughead. Give it to me before you ruin it. As the video log cut off. That's it for now. I'm still going through the first holotape. These were the videos I found so far. We should probably eat and rest up. And we should continue this tomorrow. Of course, I have no way to actually know the passage of time right now. That's the bad thing about this place. We don't know what time of day it is. At least we know where the name Demon Mouth came from. I might have downloaded the entire database onto these holotapes, but majority of it I still have to decode. As the Rosefield eventually stopped what they're doing and finally sat down and eat as a family, then immediately went to get some sleep. And with the Protectron still patrolling around the building that they're in, they don't have to worry about getting any surprises. They'll hear it long before they get a surprise attack. The next morning, Ren Yang continued decoding the rest of the first holotape. Ren eventually recovered more video logs and audio logs as well. As she pressed play, as the lead scientist Yuri appeared on the screen once again. This is Yuri, head scientist of the Demon Mouth. Video log 3. We've already been well equipped since my last video. So proper equipment, we're able to handle this assignment. Everything's been moving along quite nicely. We had many of the soldiers make contact with these creatures that we're here to research. As you see, as she points at a pure metal table, on top of the metal slab, there was a dead crawler on it. As you see, this creature have a unique skin color, most likely because they don't leave the Demon Mouth. They most likely evolved while being underground. They're very aggressive, almost predator-like. And they have the ability to climb on the walls and ceiling. Only reason that is even possible is their razor-sharp claws on their hands and feet. They almost look like humans, a very warped version of humanity. And according to reports, they're clearly meat eaters. And given the few of the soldiers that were eaten alive, I've already put a request to the commander of this military research center for a live test subject. A sample, as you were. So far I've been denied, but I've been promised there will be a live test subject. We just don't have the necessary equipment to capture one, apparently. And it's not like it's hard to get equipment down here. After all, the top of this military research center has a pathway to the surface. So if there's a reason we need to evacuate, it wouldn't take very long. The demon mouth is just too complex to have it mapped out. Every military soldier that ventured into the cave system to map it out never came back. They most likely dead. Most likely they were eaten alive by these interesting creatures. As she opened up the eyelids, as you see, they have very pale eyes. I'm uncertain if they're blind or not. And much like their razor-sharp claws, their teeth are equally sharp as well. And their DNA structure is alien-like. This is indeed a grand discovery. Mark my words. I will solve this mystery one way or another. But I'm a bit worried though. Some of the soldiers have been acting weird. Even the head security, Lee, has been acting strangely recently. As the video log ended, as another video log was played, this is the head scientist, Yuri, of the Demon's Mouth, video log 4. I was about to give up all hope, but they finally did it. They finally captured a live one. It's being transferred to the laboratory as we speak. I can't wait to discover all the hidden secrets, these creatures that will reveal to us. I've been studying their genetic code more closely. I can't pinpoint their exact lifespan. They could even precede even humanity. They live way longer than humans. We might be looking at the original life form of planet Earth itself. I have no proof on that, of course. It's just a scientist's hunch. If I'm wrong, so be it. I can move on. But if I'm right, these creatures could be the key to unlock humanity's full potential. These creatures might be monstrous and act like mindless savages, but their DNA, if I could just isolate their DNA strands, that gives these creatures their superior strength, reflex, speed, and so on. If somehow I could isolate their genome and increase and use that to increase the lifespan of humanity. Of course, I'm talking about DNA splicing. And I don't know if that's even... I don't know if we even have the necessary technology for something like that. But at least I'm making the groundwork for my work to be continued. I'm no fool. I know I'll be long past dead before my ambitions are fully realized. Of course, the higher-ups have no idea I'm using this chance to research this creature to increase the human lifespan, to live longer, much longer, and have a more sturdy body. They'll most likely think I'm a mad woman, a mad scientist gone wrong. And in all honesty, they wouldn't be too off from the truth. As the video log ended, now things are getting even more interesting. Indeed, brother. According to the video log, they managed to capture a live one. You do have the next video, right? This is the last video of this holotape. Good. Did you catch on what she said about the exit? I heard that as well. On the top floor of the building. We'll have to go up the stairs to search for it. On the top floor? Part of this military building must have some sort of passageway through the hard rock surface. They might have their own man-made tunnel. Possible, brother. Only way to find out is to go up there. Now that the scientist Yuri confirmed that they don't have a layout of the cave, this is our best option to get out of this hellhole. Well, rest up for a few hours, then we'll gather up our belongings and head up to the upper floors. But wait, I thought the Japanese government had DNA splicing technology. Yes, they did. The scientist Yuri must not have the clearance. According to the history books, Japan didn't invent DNA splicing technology until the midst of the Great Resource War. Because of this place, so deep underground, they most likely didn't even notice the nuclear fallout that happened worldwide. If they even lived that long at that point. If these monsters didn't outright kill them. Now, as much as I like continuing this sort of discussion, we'll discuss this later at a later date. As she shoved the backpack into Yen's chest. Grab anything you can carry that's in the armory. We need ammunition. You're being extremely more bossy today, but you do have a point. As Aang turned around, began to walk towards the armory, not one bit bothered by his sister's behavior. He's used to her by now. Ren looked around the room to see her son, what he was doing. She found him on one of the couches this side of the room, of the walls, reading Yang's journal that he calls his master manual. And that's where we're going to stop it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.